Business in the 217 on the WMAY morning news feed. And as we do each and every week, we connect with the Springfield Business Journal and publisher Michelle Ownbey to go over some of what's going on in and around the business community. We've got a couple of stories here involving the healthcare industry in Springfield, and we've got a very vibrant healthcare industry. And I think a lot of people are very thankful for that, being a hub of sorts in central Illinois with several large medical operations. But there's been some moves lately going on. Tell us first what's going on with Memorial and a piece of property they recently purchased.
Yeah, so as you said, lots happening lately in my neighborhood, which also happens to be the Mid-Illinois Medical District. And Memorial has just acquired a very distressed property, the former Homestyle Inn and Suites there at the corner of First and Carpenter. It's right across the street from the county market, and of course also just south of the entrance to Memorial's main campus. So pretty critical piece of property there that's been falling into disrepair for a number of years. My understanding is Memorial's wanted to acquire it for some time, and the owner finally got realistic on the price. So if you've driven by there lately, you'll see they've got construction fencing up, and they're actually in the process now of demolishing that former motel. And a spokesperson for Memorial said that they don't have a specific project in mind just yet, but it's a to be determined project down the road.
Well, obviously, integral piece of property right there in the center of the medical district. So I imagine they'll definitely make the right decision after weighing all the different possibilities that there could be there with that particular property. Another movement in the medical space, we've got Medics First taking on a shopping center. What's going on there?
Right. So this is exciting news. The old Shop and Save there at North Grand, which has been vacant for a couple of years now. And of course, it's always hard to find somebody to backfill those extremely large properties. So weren't quite sure what was going to happen with that. But Medics First has purchased the property. It's going to become their new headquarters. They're currently housed over at Taylor Avenue, and they have a couple of satellite locations as well. And Memorial is also part of this particular project. Memorial is going to be leasing some space in the building, and they have a workforce development program in the works over there. So they expect to take occupancy by summer of 2022. They say they'll kick off construction probably right after the first part of the year. So good to see that space coming to life again.
We're talking with Michelle Ownbey, publisher of the Springfield Business Journal, for Business in the 217 here on the WMAY morning news feed. I'm Greg Bishop. A couple other things to talk about. We've got Erica Smith, who people know for working with one organization. She's now moving to a different organization. Tell us about that.
Right. So we'll talk about the other hospital for a moment now, HSHS. Erica Smith is currently the director of Helping Hands, and of course has become pretty well known in the community through her role there, advocating for the homeless and the great work she's done with Helping Hands. She is joining Hospital Sisters Health System as the executive director of their Hospital Sisters Mission Outreach. The current executive director is retiring, and so starting in January, Erica is going to be taking on that new role.
A lot of great work they do as well, not just in the community, but expanding across the country and around the globe. So some important work being done there. Michelle, we've talked about various movements within the medical community, but I know that a lot of people are also interested in what happens in the dining community. Tell us what Cured Catering's got going on.
Yeah, so this was kind of big news. Brian and Melissa Reilly of Cured Catering, they just started that business in March of 2017. So been around for a few years. And then, of course, in March of 2020, we know that things pretty well got shut down at that point. They had started doing some charity work. They had their staff meals program where they were helping to feed restaurant workers who were out of work or in between jobs at that point. So they focused on the charitable work for a while, but now that events are starting to come back in a big way, they are not only back to business, but expanding. They are in the process of purchasing 5 flavors and secret recipes from Chip Kennedy, who's moving out of state. So they're taking over the physical building and equipment there on Normandy Road, as well as the book of business. They're already starting to work some of the events that 5 flavors and secret recipes had planned. Brian told me that they were doing up to 6 weddings a day in September and October. So it's been really crazy, and they've been recruiting a lot of family and friends to help them out temporarily. But he feels confident that the event sector is coming back. Said they learned a lot from the pandemic, and even if there continue to be some restrictions in place, that they figured out how to do things in a safe way and still be able to hold special events. So they are making a big move here.
Thumbs up on all of this. Good to see, and good for you guys for keeping us posted on what's happening in and around the business community. Michelle Ownbey with the Springfield Business Journal. Tell us how we can get a copy.
Definitely the best way is to get online, springfieldbusinessjournal.com. You can sign up to get the print edition mailed to your home or office. And of course, you can also sign up for Biz Bites. That's our weekly newsletter, free of charge, and come straight to your inbox every Wednesday with a roundup of what's happening around town.
Michelle Ownbey, Springfield Business Journal, here on Business in the 217. Greatly appreciate you taking time here on the WMAY Morning News Feed.
Thanks, Greg.